Hungarian Folk Tales. King Kitty. Once upon a time there lived a poor old woman, and she had a cat. The cat was so greedy that he poked his nose into every jug and jar. Then the day came when the old woman could not stand the cat's greedy ways any longer, and she said to him, "Get out of my house. You may go wherever you like, but never darken my door again." So the greedy cat was forced to go out into the wide world. The cat walked until he came to a bridge, where he sat and gave a sad meow. And as he sat, he caught sight of a fox sitting nearby. The cat prowled slowly around the fox and rustled the bushes. The fox was terrified, as he had never seen a cat before, and the cat was terrified because he had never seen a fox before, so they both just stood there shaking. Which of us should be in charge? What? You don't know who I am? I'm King Kitty. All the animals are afraid of me. Oh, I am ashamed to say that I have never heard of you before, the fox confessed, and immediately invited King Kitty to his humble home for a sumptuous supper of chicken, duck, goose, and anything else he could find. Please eat more, Your Majesty. Make yourself at home. When the feast was finished, the fox prepared an exceptionally soft bed for King Kitty, who ordered complete silence while he had his royal nap. Get away from here! Don't you know that King Kitty is sleeping in my house? If you wake him now, he's sure to have you executed. Where are you running to? Are the hounds on your tail? Don't ask me, Bear. I was passing Fox's house and he told me to run away because King Kitty sleeps within, and if I woke him, he'd have me executed. The bear pondered. I have travelled to many lands, but I have never heard of such a feline figure. I shall pay a visit to the fox and see this King Kitty for myself. Oh, Bear, please don't go there, because if you wake King Kitty, he'll have you executed and me along with you. This frightened the bear, who ran and ran until he reached the rabbit. Oh my, what will happen if King Kitty wakes up and walks out into the forest? I've got a splendid idea. Let's all invite King Kitty to a banquet. If you trust me, I'll go to the fox and invite His Majesty. All right, I'll go to see if King Kitty is awake, and I'll inform him of your wish. Your Majesty, a crow has arrived sent by the animals of the forest to invite you to a royal banquet. King Kitty brushed his white whiskers and said, "Very well, you may go and tell the crow I will attend." As evening came, King Kitty began to make himself ready. He waxed his whiskers and left in the company of his host the fox. The crow met them to show the way. But the crow was too scared to fly down to the ground, and so instead he flew from tree to tree and called, "This way, please! This way, please!" The other animals soon sighted King Kitty arriving with the fox. "Oh dearie me, here comes King Kitty. He'll skewer me on his spiky whiskers." But all of a sudden the animals took fright and fled to all four corners of the forest. And if these foolish animals had not run away, my story would have lasted longer still. Hungarian Folk Tales. The Little Walnut. Once upon a time, there lived a poor man who had so many children they were like ants in a hill. The children often went without food for 3 days in a row. They were so very poor. So their father set off to find some food for his family. He was walking in the forest when the devil met him, disguised as a man. "Where are you going, poor man?" "I'm going to find some food for my children. If I don't do something soon, they will all die of hunger." "Don't take another step. I'll give you something that, if you use it wisely, will put an end to suffering in your house. Here, take this little walnut. Give it any order you like, and it will be done without delay." "But what am I to give you in return?" "I don't want anything much. Only the thing you don't know about in your home." The poor man started thinking what it could be that he didn't know about, but he could not think of a single thing. And as times were hard, he gave his promise. The poor man arrived home with a little walnut, and his wife asked, "Have you brought food?" "We are all so very, very hungry." "Well, I didn't exactly bring food, but I did bring a peculiar nut. The man who gave it to me said that we can order it to do anything we desire, and it will be done." "Why did he give it to you?" "I'm sure he wanted something in return." "All he said was that I am to give him what I don't know about in my home in return for the nut." "Oh, you faithless fool, what have you done? You can see that I'm expecting a baby, and you didn't know about it, and now you have given it away." "It's not my fault, wife, but what is done is done." The poor man gave an order to the walnut. "Well, little nut, all of us need food, drink, and clothes. I order you to make them now." And everything the man asked for was provided, and they all sat down to eat finer food than they had ever tasted in their lives before. The poor man also wanted a larger home, and so he ordered the little walnut to build him a large brick farmhouse with green gardens, lush pastures, and fine farm animals. The poor man soon became a rich man, and his baby was born. The family were all working hard one day when 2 old men arrived and asked for shelter for the night. He was glad to help and also gave them food. When they told him why they had come, "We know that the devil is about to come and take your youngest child. We came to help you save your innocent babe. Do as we say and put a loaf of bread on your table at night and let it stay there until the following day." So the man put a loaf on the table, and everyone in the house went to sleep for the night. They were all fast asleep at midnight when the devil appeared under the window and shouted up, "Hey, master of the house, do you hear me? Do you remember your promise to me? Give it to me now. I came for that." Nobody heard his words as they were all sleeping, but instead the bread spoke up. "Stay and sit easy outside. Just wait as I waited. Be patient and suffer as I patiently waited. I was sown in the soil in the autumn and sat there all winter, as you must wait now. When spring came, I started to grow, and I waited to grow tall, as you must wait now too. When the time of harvest came, I was cut with a scythe and gathered in bunches, but I had to suffer, as you must now suffer too. Then I was put on a cart, pushed along a road, and into the village, and waited, as you must wait now too. I was stamped on and painfully cracked. I had to suffer, as you must now suffer too. I was shoveled into a barn, where they beat me with sticks. They beat me hard, and I suffered, as you must suffer now too. Then I was put in a sack, taken to the mill, and poured between two heavy stones, and ground to powder. I had to suffer, as you must suffer now too. I was taken home and put into a bowl with salt and water. Then they punched me with their fists, kneaded me and tortured me. Then, greatest of all pains in the world, they pushed me into a fiery oven. I had to suffer all of this, so you must suffer now too. They baked me and burned me before I was brought here, and cut me with a sharp metal knife. I had to be patient and suffer and wait. Now you must be patient and suffer and wait now too. The devil was sad to hear the sound of the cockerel heralding the dawn of the next day. He had no power over men in the bright light of morning, so he ran back to his distant home, and the farmer's family kept their youngest son. The farmer thanked the old men for saving his baby boy from the devil's grasp. And that poor farmer still lives a wealthy life, unless they have lost their little walnut. Hungarian Folk Tales. One-eyed, two-eyed, three-eyed. Once upon a time there lived a woman who had 3 daughters. The eldest daughter had 3 eyes, the middle one had 1 eye, and the youngest had 2 eyes. One day the woman decided to marry off her daughters. A young man arrived seeking a bride, but he wanted to marry the youngest daughter with 2 eyes. But the woman wanted to marry off her eldest daughter first. The woman and the 2 elder girls became very angry with the youngest. They had a goat, and the youngest girl had to watch the goat in the fields every day. The youngest daughter was very sad because her sisters hated her and did not give her any food to eat. She was crying in the fields one day, and the goat asked her, "Why are you so sad, my dear?" I am sad and cry because my sisters hate me so much and they give me no food to eat. Don't be sad, I shall help you. Whenever you feel hungry, just tell me, "Little goat, come here and lay me a table, dear." The youngest daughter did as the goat said, and from then on she left for the fields every morning in the best of moods. The sisters soon began to wonder why the youngest one no longer asked for food. And they decided to spy on her. On the first day, the one-eyed daughter went with her two-eyed sister to the fields to see what she did there all day. Both daughters sat down in the grass. "Lean your head in my lap," said the two-eyed daughter to her one-eyed sister. And as she lay down, her sister began to ask, "Are you awake or are you asleep, my sister?" And she kept on asking this until the one-eyed sister fell fast asleep. Then the two-eyed daughter said, "Little goat, come here and lay me a table, dear." By the time the one-eyed daughter woke again, the goat had cleared away all the food, including the table. When she returned home, the one-eyed daughter reported that she had seen nothing at all. The next day it was decided that the three-eyed daughter should accompany her two-eyed sister to the fields. So the two girls went out to the fields with the goat. The three-eyed girl leaned her head into her sister's lap and the two-eyed daughter began to recite, "Are you awake or are you asleep, my three-eyed sister?" Then the three-eyed daughter closed two of her eyes, but her sister did not see that her third eye stayed open, and she began to say, "Little goat, come here and lay a table for me, dear." The three-eyed daughter pretended to be fast asleep, and when she awoke, she did not tell her sister what she had learned while sleeping. At home, she told everything to her mother and sister. The youngest daughter became very sad when the three women decided to kill her pet goat. That night, she dreamt that an old man told her to ask for the hooves and horns of the goat and plant them behind the door without letting anyone see. So that is what she did. By morning, a fine apple tree had grown on that very spot. And no one could pick an apple from its branches except the two-eyed daughter. When the young man came, he asked the one-eyed daughter and the three-eyed daughter to pick him a golden apple from the tree, but neither could do it because the branches always pulled away from their grasp. made the two-eyed sister hide under the bed, and she was not allowed to come out whenever the young man visited the house. But one day she rolled a golden apple out from under the bed, and the young man asked, "How did this apple roll here? Who rolled it here? I demand to see who did this thing." The two sisters said, "She is a dirty little nothing, and you should not waste your eyes on her." Then the young man looked under the bed and saw the two-eyed daughter he loved so very much. He took her by the hand and led her away, saying that she must be his wife and no other. Off they went, and the two sisters stayed at home. If they had not stayed at home, my story would have lasted longer still.